Well, welcome back. Day 3 of the FIS Junior World Championships here in Bergamo region, northern Italy. Schilpario is the village where the FIS team have descended and taken over the town for these competitions going on all week in this beautiful sunshine up until Sunday. The weather due to stay with us looking lovely until at least the weekend. It might make things just a little more tricky come Saturday, as there may be a little bit of snow, but conditions pretty perfect out here in northern Italy. One or two people struggling this morning with the kick wax on this course. My guess is a few went a little light on the kick wax in the hope that the skis would be quicker on the downhills. Sam Smith of the USA struggled a little, at least that's the way it looked. I think her grip was lacking, and as a result she dropped back down the standings. Improved on last year's race, but will not be satisfied with the performance she had this morning. Last few minutes of ski prep going on. Really is a wonderful science if you've ever raced or even done cross-country ski to the level where you use wax as opposed to fish scales on the simpler skis. The fish scales used to help you grip the snow. Nowhere near as quick as using the real thing. Kick wax underneath the middle of the ski and glide wax on the edges. And the technicians, a big job to do here. We all love the sunshine, but now that the sun is out on pretty much the whole of the course, apart from one or two places in the woods perhaps, it is a bit more difficult to get the wax just perfect. But the sun bringing out the crowds and the atmosphere we're enjoying. Here's Team Norway just discussing the nature of the course, and we'll come to that in just a minute or two. Just over 3 minutes to go before the mass start, and the teams assembling their runners ready to get away at 11 o'clock UK time, 12 o'clock here in Schilpario, and forgive me, I do not know what time it is over there in Canada or the USA, or indeed down in Australia if you're watching from Australia. The air temperature has gone up just a little in the last hour or so, and we are approaching zero, where things start to get a little tricky when it comes to the ski prep. But fortunately the snow staying nice and cool down around about -6. Well, here's all the future Italian stars. They'll be still a little too young for the Olympics next year, but it won't be long before we will see some of those youngsters competing in these FIS events. Last few touches being made to those precious skis. Here's a quick look at our start list. 4 Italians going in the top 10 places. Big field this morning. 81 starters from 30 nations from around the world. The standard from number 1 down to 81, quite considerable actually, but that's by design. The FIS very keen to encourage the lowland, lower ranked nations to send their athletes to get an introduction to competing at the highest level in these FIS races around the world. The Junior World Championships, clearly the pinnacle of these events. 2 British racers today, Ewan McAdam from Fife in bib number 24, you will have seen there. And Thomas Duncan, who currently lives in Norway in Sadnes, in bib number 75. Well, we've got just a few seconds left. Lars Heggen of Norway in bib number 1, second in the sprints on Monday. Won the sprints last year, actually, so was a bit disappointed. Isai Neif of Switzerland, third in the sprints on Monday, second in the Classic 10K last year in Planica. Can he get a first this year? Erik Bergstrom of Sweden, ninth on Monday. And bib number 3, that is David Negroni of Italy. Lots of wins in the Italian series, but clearly hoping that home snow will once again work for him today. This is Gabriel Matley, the second of the Italians. Seventh in Planica last year in the 20 kilometer. That was, of course, freestyle. Well, that speaker pumping out the sound of a heartbeat as the athletes' heartbeats prepare now for 20Ks on this demanding course out here in northern Italy. Any second now. Away they go, and it's a powerful start from Lars Heggen as it looked as if he was starting a sprint race. 20 kilometers to go, so the pace out of the stadium initially will be quick, but as soon as they come round the bend, the pace will slow and people will start to settle down for about 45-50 minutes of effort. The sun now hitting most of the track, and if 50% of this course was in the sun, then the difference between the warmer areas and the cool shaded areas causing some challenges to the task of getting the kick wax perfect for this race this morning. So the start of the course will be familiar to you if you watch the sprints on Monday and yesterday. They head around, and the first of the climbs up to the highest point in the sprint race yesterday, it's Sweden 1 and 2. Jonathan Lindberg in bib number 5 it is actually, on the left hand side, and Erik Bergstrom in 4. They will be the first 2, or of the first 3, to get to the highest point here. We saw this point yesterday in the sprints. It was strategically important, less so today, as they have about just over 19 kilometers to go. They'll come around this bend 5 times, but it's not near the end, so positioning at this point of the loop not quite so critical. Certainly wasn't in the women's race earlier on today. We'll expect this field to get strung out by the time we conclude the first loop. We'll start to see the difference in standard. 1 or 2 athletes heading down the hill, and you can just see the arms being held out just to ensure that as they hit this first fast right-hand bend, it's fast and then very tight on the exit. So not a problem to negotiate particularly, but all of the athletes keen not to have any clashes early on in the race, which might cost them a few seconds as they retrieve a new ski pole if they end up colliding with one of the other athletes. As we almost saw there at the bottom of our screen, a little confusion. Looks to me like one of the Finnish athletes, perhaps with one of the Norwegian team. You see the pace, the concertina effect of moving quickly, some of these faster areas, and then suddenly hitting the hill in a mass start race. The only athletes that can keep going at the pace that they plan to go at are the ones at the front, with no one in front of them. Everyone else having to wait as the gaps open up wide enough just to allow them to use the length of those skis to move forward. think one or two of the Italians I can see on the right-hand side just taking the opportunity now to, it's one Italian and one Finnish athlete just moving forward. That's bib number 15 is Anton Kempi of Finland, trying to work his way to the front. And bib number 7, having dropped back just a little in the first couple of kilometers, that's Marco Panzini, the third of the Italians. This is his first World Championships at the junior level. Someone who is well known in northern Italy for his summer roller ski racing. Enters many of those classic races that happen throughout the summer in Central Europe. So it's Sweden, Germany, Norway round the top of this bend. We're not at the highest point yet. That is yet to come. They'll come down this hill and then bear round to start negotiating the longest climb on this course. Eric Bergström of Sweden in bib number 4, leading the way at the moment. Bergström definitely looking for some better results than he's had so far. 9th on Monday for the Swedish athlete in the sprints, which is exactly what he got last year in Planica. He also raced for Sweden, a year younger, but got a 9th place. Was looking to improve on that on Monday, but it didn't work out. Failed to make the final. Still a reasonably large group as they start the longer of these climbs, and this is where we started earlier on today to see one or two who are going to struggle with the kickwax. Nothing showing yet though on anyone we can see here. We will start to notice it though, just at the end of the kick phase. The athlete will, those who are struggling will just drop forward, and all the weight then being loaded onto whichever arm is in front as the grip under the ski just disconnects and the arms are loaded, and your body weight falls onto the pole that is left to do the work for a split second. Once that happens, you start to notice that your grip, either your grip under the ski is not working, or you're just a little lax perhaps in the timing of the kick, and sometimes just addressing that is all you need to do. Bib number 8, that is Federico Pozzi of Italy, just to the right hand side. You can see now he's got 2 different coloured poles. Often happens in these mass start races that the end of the pole, the basket on the end, just gets clipped either by your own skis or one of the other athletes. They're super light, very strong if you press down on them from the top, but sideways on they just shatter. And Federico surviving that little problem. You can see he's got 2 different coloured poles. He's also having a little bit of trouble with the kickwax as it stands, but bib number 8 definitely has more form in the distance races. Federico, 49th in qualifying in the sprints on Monday, so he's hoping to do better than that today. And in bib number 8, he's marked out to be certainly better than 49th. I haven't caught sight of the 2 British boys yet in bib number 74 and 75. We'll start to get some splits, and we will be able to tell you how they are doing. So I'm just looking back through my split timings. Ewan McAdam back in 74th, bib number 74, and Thomas Duncan back in 75th, bib number 75. 30 seconds down on the pace of the leaders, but the space that is needed to fit 81 athletes into 2 or 3 tracks, providing that 30-second gap. So no major problems for the British lads at the moment. We can see though now, as we head back down to the stadium over this little bridge, they'll bear left and climb up to a little U-turn at the top, which, if there is a big pack towards the end of today's race, what has happened here? This is not looking good, and one of the athletes. Couldn't see the number, so maybe we'll get another shot and find out who that was, but someone on that downhill back towards the stadium. Coming a cropper, sadly, and looks like their race is over. Germany in one, Sweden alongside him, 2 Swedes and a Norwegian now coming up, and let's get a look in a second at who these are. So we head around this U-turn at the top of this little hill. I'm guessing that's Jakob Moch in second of Germany. If he's wearing bib number 10, it will be. And one of the Norwegians to his right. We've got 3 Swedes, 3 or 4 Swedes, I think, in the top 10 at the moment. But already, as they come through the stadium and grab a drink, that is Jakob Moch of Germany. And teammate, bib number 21, that was Felix Ballwin of Germany, also grabbing a drink in the sunshine. Important to take a drink early on to prevent you having a hydration issue later on. Another one of the athletes struggling with a ski pole issue, and one of the coaches has now run across to the other side to provide a spare. Again, can't see who that is, but as we come through the stadium for the first time, the splits provided for us. Bergström of Sweden is first, Filip Skari, Monday's winner, in second, Gabriel Matley of Italy in third, Jakob Moch of Germany is in fourth, Jonathan Lindberg of Sweden in fifth, Marco Panzini, the second of the Italians, through in the top 6. Mans Ravald of Sweden in bib number 18 is in 7th. A little further down, Harbo of Norway, a little off the pace for bib number 13, down in 22nd, 10 seconds back. It's Bergström as we head out of the stadium now for the second time. Still a decent sized pack together with no major gaps forming in the upper half of the field. Lovely to see just how easy Bergström makes this look. Perfect timing in that kick as the grip wax under the weighted ski just connects with the snow and affords Lars, it's not Lars, it's Eric, isn't it, Bergström, the opportunity to just press that ski down into the snow and kick quickly, sharp, quick, powerful kick forward, propelling the other knee forward, and once again the same thing is repeated over and over again. Let's get a look now and see whether anyone has particularly quick skis coming down the hill here. Who is moving up? With such a big bunch it's hard to spot actually, but later on that will become more and more apparent. Down they come, the second part of the sprint course yesterday. Again, 1 or 2 athletes standing tall, holding their arms out just to create a little bit of wind resistance to slow them down. Air brakes, let's call them air brakes, and taking that corner quite sharp. Little pack starting to form now as we head onto the second climb on this course. Jostling for lanes and 1 or 2 athletes. The pace not particularly quick, so they're not going to be overly concerned, but positions important, and ensuring that the gap stays manageable. Bib number 32 just providing the lead for that chase group. That's Nolan Goetsch of Switzerland in that Swiss race suit. What is the gap? It looks as if it's about, we'll get exact time in a second. The gap back to the Swiss athlete. Just waiting for those times to just feed their way through. Isai Naif of Switzerland still up there in the lead group. Negroni of Italy is there. Timing's just taken a little longer than normal to come through. But this is still the lead group that we're seeing here. Barber of the USA is there. Müller, one of the Germans. Rissanen is there. And then there's Goetsch. So it's about 7-second gap between the lead pack of 25, which is a little strung out, but we're still only on lap number 2, approaching 7,000 meters, and the longer of the climbs now. This is the sustained climb up to the highest point. 25 in this lead pack. Towards the back of those is, I think it's Rissanen of Finland. Justin Boudreau of Canada is there. Quentin Viguier of France. Harbo of Norway, bib number 13, is towards the back of this pack. Long way to go though. Bib number 6 is Gabriel Matley. Won the 10K European Youth Olympics 2 years ago. And that will have triggered some hopes and expectations for the future. Possibly a little young to make the team for the Olympics coming up in just over a year's time. Here in northern Italy, it's Milano Cortina. The games shared out around the north of Italy, which is a really good thing to do, actually. Cross-country races happening in Val di Fiemme, which is around about 100 kilometers-ish northeast of here, over the mountains. And we saw the World Cup course used just at the turn of the year, part of the Tour de Ski in Italy, second part of the Tour de Ski, and the course is there being tested. They'll change slightly for next year, I think, at the Olympics, but good to get a good look at them. Bib number 7, Marco Panzini of Italy, just 18 years of age. Again, this is his first Junior World Championships. Gabriel Matley looking across just to see which of his teammates are there. Spots Marco, and he'll be encouraged by that. Federico Pozzi is at the back of this in bib number 8. There he is, another one of the 4 Italians in the top 10 bib numbers. Matley crew fans have pinned up a banner for him into the trees there. Down we come, back towards the stadium. We can see it below us, a long, quick, pretty fast downhill. 1 or 2 falls earlier on, actually, surprisingly, 1 or 2 falls when no one else was involved, just suggesting that 1 or 2 places the snow is a bit cut up and perhaps goes from sugary to ice, having had sun on it every day and then frozen overnight. Easy to get caught out by that. 3 Norwegians chasing the leading 2 as we head our way back down towards the stadium on the quickest part of the course, back onto a section of the course that the sprint racers used yesterday. They will bear down left, come across the bridge, leave the shade here in the woods, and emerge into the sunshine and head up the 4th of the hills on this 4-kilometer course as they begin to conclude the second time round. 18:47 is the time as it stands. A little bit of conversation there between one of the Norwegians that's leading the way, and one of the handful actually of locals, Italians, who are currently looking pretty strong. 14 or so in that lead group. Little gap that's just being bridged by someone putting in a bit of effort, and I think that is another one of the Italians with a couple of fins on his tail. They come around this bend and into the sunshine again and head towards the stadium, where another, not refreshment break, will await them, but an opportunity to just take in some electrolytes and fluid. Fairly quick left-hander back into the stadium. Italians doing well. Norway up there in the top 6. I spotted 2 or 3 Norwegians still up in the first 6. And split times coming up in about 30 seconds as they come through the home straight once again. Second loop completed, and we have a gap between the top 15 or so. The pace slows. Time for a quick regroup and check to see who is there. It's Italy forming a little bit of a roadblock at the front. Federico Pozzi of Italy comes through in time of 20:31. Expect the winning time then to be inside 50 minutes, averaging 10 minutes a loop now, but that will speed up. And if there are any athletes in this pack who don't feel sprinting is going to be their forte, they will now be starting to think about when they need to make a break, to try to sap some of the strength out of the legs of those sprinters. They will know one another well enough to be able to look around and see who's still there. 1 or 2 haven't fallen away that would be expected to do well, but maybe struggling if the conditions have worked in a way that doesn't favour the skis that they have prepared today. Is always a little bit of a gamble. So it's Norway, Italy, and then Sweden coming through. I think that is Mans Ravold of Sweden, probably wearing bib number 18, if that's no, it's not, it's 4, I think. Eric Bergström of Sweden, who has moved forward, having come through the stadium in 10th place, now making his way up to the front again. 4 good tracks in this, but some of the athletes, the ones that are out of the track, very likely to be just having a little bit of problem with the kickwax and needing to go into the softer snow where the grip is going to be better for them. And if that is indeed the correct interpretation, my interpretation of why they're out of the tracks, then we're likely to see them struggle later on as the pace increases and the hills get longer. There are about 20 athletes still within sort of 15 seconds of the lead. The sun now hitting that corner under the bridge. When you go from the shaded area into the sun, often the skis feel very different as you hit the sun and then come back out of the sun again, and taking that corner quickly and off balance, and just the adjustment that is caused by the different temperature of the snow can throw you off balance just a little bit. Isai Neif of Switzerland just in the middle of the screen there in that red suit, wearing bib number 3 at the back of this pack, or towards the back of the leading 12 or so. Still looking for a win at Junior World Championships level. Second place last year in the classic race in Planitia. That was 10 kilometers though. 5th in the 20, which was freestyle. 3rd on Monday. So 2 Junior World Championships medals for the Swiss athlete. Is today going to be a medal day, and if it is, can he snatch his first gold? Bib number 10, Jakob Moch. Moch of Germany goes ahead. 2 times Youth Olympic champion in Gangwon last year. Loves classic. Bib number 50, looking strong. Pyri Rissanen. The Finns always so good at classic. Long glide. At the moment, looks like his kick wax is working well. Bib number 6. Gabriel Matley now goes to the front, and the German Jakob Moch just poling hard around the bend. He's getting a drink at this highest point. Most people taking a drink in the stadium, but this is a good place for a drink as you come around that bend. You have to take it wide. Frederick Moch, no, not Frederick Moch. He's competing on the World Cup circuit and will be in Falun next week, representing Germany. This is Jakob Moch of Germany, just losing 1 or 2 places, but a sacrifice he's prepared to make in order to get a good drink at a really helpful point. One of the challenges of taking drinks on these races is the ability to drink enough, get enough into your mouth and down your neck, so it actually has some real benefit. When you do it on a harder section of the course, breathing too heavily, it's really hard to actually swallow enough for it to really make a difference to your hydration. So always a little bit of experimenting going on in the days leading up to these races. Italy, 1, 2 and 3. This is good, and 4 by the looks of it. Number 8 is Federico Pozzi. Number 7 is Marco Panzini. Wonderful Italian name. 6 is Gabriel Matley, who was 7th in Planitia this time last year. Norway's Philip Skari now, Monday's winner, coming to the front. 4th last year in Planitia in this race in the freestyle technique. Lars Heggen of Norway, runner-up to Skari on Monday. Won the sprints last year in Planitia, and silver 2 years ago in Whistler in the 10K. Would have been classic back then. It alternates every year. So Norway's Philip Skari looking pretty cool, stretching the pace now. The Italians no longer up at the front, getting lots of support from their support team as Skari starts to push the pace. He has got a sprinter's kick, as we saw clearly from Monday, so things are looking good for him. Jonas Müller of Germany in that German dark coloured suit coming through. The posse now, the lead pack being stretched as we head up the toughest of these hills. The first half dozen or so crest the hill and start heading back down towards the stadium in the shade where the snow will be quickest, and 1 or 2 people coming a cropper on this bend here in the women's field this morning. These skis, if you're not a cross-country skier, only connected obviously at the toe. It is a flexible boot, nothing like the kind of grip and control you get from Alpine boots. One of the Italian athletes there just having to really step quickly to accommodate the different bumps and lumps and edges in the snow, the different textures, the ice, and then the slushy, or sugary I should say, snow. Nothing will be slushy here yet it's unlikely to get so warm that the conditions will become that bad. But look at the way the last hill has just strung out the field. We're down to 6. Once again, as we saw in the women's field earlier on today, they head over the little bridge back into the sunshine and will come through the stadium. And we're approaching the 12,000 meter point. 6 athletes having made a little break and created a gap. And we'll get confirmation of who these are. And the gap closed up a little. 1 or 2 managing to get back on par. I think both of those that have managed to close the gap look to me like Italians in those blue suits with the white lower legs. 4 Italians still in the top 8. That's good news for Italy, the hosts of the Junior World Championships this year in Schilpario. We're about 100 kilometers northeast of Milan. The airport, fortunately, between Milan and Schilpario, which makes it a great venue from a travelling point of view. They head through the stadium now, back into the warmer section of this course. Another opportunity to take a drink, and it seems most athletes do. And if others do, then it gives you the opportunity to pause slightly as well. Or in some cases, we have seen over the years people anticipating the drink stop and making a break and accelerating away. So we have 7 athletes now. One of the other Italians having joined this group, bib number 8, Federico Pozzi, just off the pace. And 5 seconds down on Lars Heggen in bib number 1, who comes through for the 3rd time in first place. Filip Skari of Norway is there, right on his tail. Jakob Moch and Gabriel Matli in 3rd and 4th. Second of the Italians, Pinzani in 5th. David Negroni in 6th. And Leopold Strand, bib number 16 of Norway, haven't mentioned him yet, in 7th. Federico Pozzi of Italy in 8th, and then a decent gap back to Ralph Kivil of Estonia, who is back in 9th place. Piri Rissanen of Finland making up the first 10. Ralph Kivil, though, out on his own, so he's got work to do. He either gets caught and joins the chasing group, or he puts in a lot of work now to try and close the gap while he can still see them and join this lead pack. So 8 athletes, just about, if you include Federico Pozzi in 8th place, who's struggling a little. 8 athletes forming this lead group. It's 2 Norwegians plus, in bib number 10, Jakob Moch of Germany in the first 3. The Swedes have all dropped away, so no Swedes now in the top 10. Mansraveld is in bib number 18, down in 14th place, coming through the stadium, but was 35 seconds off the pace of the Norwegians. So it's Norway, Germany, Italy, and just about in sight, Ralph Kivil of Estonia. So 3 nations now taking up these top 8 positions. 3 Norwegians, 3 Italians, 4 Italians actually, including, if you include Pozzi, and of course Jakob Elias Moch of Germany. See the sun creeping its way further and further onto this course. Good that the races are being held in the earlier part of the day. It gives the athletes good time to recover, and we get the very best conditions actually, with the snow still remaining cold. We're down to 7. 3 Norwegians. I think we now only have 3 Italians. You can still see Jakob Moch of Germany in 3rd place. So it's Norway, Norway, Germany, Italy, Italy, and Norway. Yeah, there you can see bib number 8, Federico Pozzi, just struggling a little bit. The tempo slowing. And another one of the Italians, David Negroni, I think, towards the back of this pack, starting to feel the pain of the pace. It is bib number 3, David Negroni. Home snow, getting him a top 10 result, hopefully today, but all of his best races have been at home in Italy. And lovely for him to be able to compete here at a home Junior World Championships. But there's an indication of the challenge that David Negroni has. A little slip as the kickwax starts to let him down, or could be just a technical problem that he has. He's just not perhaps effective enough in the classic style at creating that perfect timing you need in classic skiing. Skis really do not work for you if the technique is not up to it. 2 Norwegians now out front. Jakob Eliach Moch of Germany in there. Gabriel Matley, I think it is, in with this bunch, and they close up once again into a pack of 6. As we had in the women's race earlier on this morning, by the time we got to loop number 4, we were down to 6 athletes fighting it out. And we saw that number strung out by the time the winners crossed the line. 2 Norwegians up front. One of the Italians, just again, another one starting to drop off the pace. I think that's Marco Panzini. It isn't. That's Panzini in 7. It is David Negroni at the back, and bib number 6 for Italy, Gabriel Matley, just on the tail of Monday's winner, Philip Scari, in bib number 9, who still looks pretty relaxed, mouth wide open, head just swiveling from side to side. Here comes Leopold Strand, changes track to try to get better position behind, outside of, just steps left, to the left of the Italian in bib number 6, Gabriel Matti. Two Norwegians then out front. It is bib number 1, Lars Heggen of Norway, who is the winner in the sprint races from 12 months ago against Philip Scari of Norway, who was the winner from the sprint races 2 days ago here in Schilpario. In 3rd place is Gabriel Matley of Italy, getting lots of encouragement now from his support team. There's a big gang of Italian athlete support team out here, and the coaches just barking out orders as they head down, and the gap now opening up between the 2 Norwegians and the rest of the field. It is Lars Heggen of Norway and Philip Scari who are now starting to emerge as the athletes that will fight to the finish for 1st and obviously 2nd place, with Scari being the clear on form sprinter. But don't forget, Lars Heggen was last year's sprint world champion, so both of them able to fire things up as we approach the last quarter of this race. We've got about 5 kilometers to go. We're on 38, just turned 39 minutes. Expect the winner's time today to be around about 50 minutes. Both Norwegians, the little gap helping us actually to see that it isn't drafting, that both athletes have got similar speed skis. As the gap closes now, Skari will step wide as the drag effect kicks in the closer you get. And Skari will be practicing now. Both of these men, good sprinters, both of them good tactical racers when it comes to sprinting. And it's starting to look like it will be possibly a sprint into the finish. In third is Italy, fourth is another Norwegian. Are we going to have an all-Norwegian podium once again today? And in fifth is Jakob Moch of Germany, just at the back of these 5. A good 30-meter gap opening up as they head up this hill. It's further than it looks, that's steeper than it looks. The Norwegians round the bend and head back down the hill. Skari is playing a canny game just behind Lars Heggen. I think it is Skari. They're both wearing the same colour hats. At this height, I can't tell who's who. But I think that's likely to be Skari. It is. Just sitting in behind Lars Heggen of Norway. Once again, just preparing and testing the water for possibly the next time they come round through the stadium. It will probably be, if they're together, it will be a sprint for the finish. Skari decides he doesn't need a drink. I don't think I spotted him taking one there. And no one else does. They've all got too much to think about. Can't afford to lose any time at all now. The gap is widening. 2 Norwegians out in front. Lars Hegge in bib number 1, leading the way for Norway. Philip Skari in bib number 9, just behind him. Monday's winner, just skiing a perfect race as it stands at the moment. Psychologically and physiologically, it's just a little easier to be in second place, at least at this stage. More likely to cross the line in first. In third place, in bib number 16, Strand of Norway. And Jakob Elias Moch of Germany in fourth. Matli, Negroni and Pinzani of Italy making up the top 7. They will be getting lots of support now. The Italians, 3 of them, fighting hard to try and rejoin the group. We are back with Rissanen of Finland, who is just managing to keep these 3 as the pace setter inside the top 10. Ralph Kivil of Estonia and Puzzi of Italy. But look at these 2 side by side, almost identical, stride for stride, as they head up the first of the 4 hills that they have to negotiate before the finish line now. About 3,500 meters standing in the way of the first distance win for the men in the under 20 category. As it stands, it's looking good for 2 Norwegians, but Jakob Moch of Germany is starting to think to close the gap and rounds the top of the hill. I think both Norwegians easing off as they come up this hill, the gap closing. Moch is doing a good job to try to get back on the tail. Italy's Gabriel Matli, and I think that's Leopold Strand of Norway in 5th. About 3 kilometers to go then, before we crown the first distance champion in the men's field here in Schilpario. 2025 Junior World Championships, just over a year ahead of the Olympic Games, which will descend on this part of Italy in around 12 months' time. Not using these courses, but this part of the world, there will be Olympic flags alongside the local Italian flags, the regional flags, decorating all of these villages, as every one of these villages is packed out with fans, spectators, support staff, even some of the athletes living remotely. Certainly early on, before the games, using some of these tracks for preparation. Well, so it looked 5 minutes ago as if it was going to be an easy win, with the gap significant. The two leading athletes from Norway, Lars Heggen, Philip Skari in bib number 1 and 9. But the German, Jakob Moch, did a lot of work there to close the gap and help bring the other three into competition. Gabriel Matli of Italy is there. Bib number 16 is Leopold Strand of Norway, who, at least as far as I can tell, wasn't competing in the distance races in Furniture this time last year, Strand. But so far, looking like he's going to give himself at least a top 5 position in this Junior World Championships competition. Negroni back in 6th place, 14 seconds down. Surely now that gap too much for the second of the Italians in today's race to close. 6th place, possibly, if he can fend off his teammate Pinzani, the result he will get today. Once again, we see the Norwegians move ahead after the top of that hill. Their skis looking really, really good. Italy in 3rd place, and Jakob Moch of Germany not too far behind in 4th. Norway's Leopold Strand in 5th. The gap closes up once again. The two Norwegians at the front. Just a sense of confidence from them. Neither of them choosing to push the pace and get rid of the chasers. That would cost them. One of them would have to take the lead on that and may just, as a result, deny himself the energy at the end of the race to sprint across the line. Lars Heggen now, though, looking as if he's stretching out as we go up the toughest of the longest of these climbs. Looks over his left shoulder to see how teammate Philip Skari, probably the biggest threat if it comes to a sprint finish, how is he doing? Lars Heggen will take a lot of encouragement from the fact that the gap is now open and opening wider all the time. Heggen of Norway starts to move ahead. He's got around about 2 kilometers to go. And this is the last of the hills. If he can maintain this gap to the top of the hill, then no one will be close enough to benefit from the slipstream. We can see Gabriel Matli pushing hard now. I think he's moving up into 2nd place, getting lots of encouragement from the Italian squad as they run alongside the team support, giving young Gabriel Matli all of the encouragement he needs to maintain this pace, as we see Philip Skari just starting to struggle with the pace that was set by Lars Heggen earlier on in the race. Gabriel Matli of Italy just inching his way forward, a few inches ahead of the Norwegian in 2nd place. It's now a race for the silver medal as Lars Heggen of Norway, looking to have made a decisive break at exactly the right time. I think Heggen of Norway is out of sight. This is bib number 3 further back for Italy. Negroni of Italy, not exactly sure what position he's in now, but it's not in the top 3 places. Marco Panzini of Italy, his first Junior World Championships race. He's going to get a top 10 finish today, that's for sure, but unlikely to make the podiums. Those are already divided up. Lars Heggen of Norway in first place. I think it's Gabriel Matley and Philip Skari of Norway. Italy, Norway in second and third. But as it stands at the moment, it's this man way out front with a big enough gap that he's just going to be able to cruise into the finish, not need to use the sprinting power that he used 12 months ago in Planitcher to take the win in the sprint finals in the under 20 men's category. He was 19 years of age back then, and now still under 20 years of age, according to the time of year that you have to turn 20, but qualifies clearly for this category. It's now a race for silver. We've got a 4-way race as Heggen just crests the hill a good 100 meters ahead of the rest of the field and looks back to see teammate Philip Skari having to fight hard just to come in one of the medal places. Jakob Moch of Germany at the back of this field, who is going to have the ski speed on the downhill and then the sprinting speed into the finish. Lars Heggen will easily cruise into the stadium and across the line in first place after a brilliant move 3 kilometers out. Just acknowledges the applause from his support team as he comes through the drink stop area earlier on, looks back, and absolutely no chance of being caught now unless something daft happens on this last corner. He will come around the bend into the home straight. And Lars Heggen of Norway, he is the world champion here in Planica in the 20k, longest of the race. Started number 1, finishes number 1, punches the air. A great result for Lars Heggen of Norway. Now it's a fight. Who is going to come across the line in first place? It's Italy versus Norway, and I think Italy got it. That is a brilliant result for Gabriel Matley of Italy. Leopold Strand in second. I thought it was Philip Skari, judging by the colour of the suit, but it was Strand of Norway who came through to take third place. Jakob Elias Moch of Germany having to settle for fourth, and Philip Skari, who looked so good earlier on, finishing in fifth place overall. Here comes David Negroni of Italy. Well, home snow proved to be helpful for him today. Gets a sixth place, second of the Italians to cross the line. Lars Heggen clearly absolutely thrilled with his race today. He was second on Monday, said he was looking forward to this race. Considered himself to be a bit of a classic specialist. Coming through next across the line. Representing Estonia is Ralph Kivel. Federico Pozzi of Italy, fourth Italian to finish, and Piri Rissanen of Finland. 149 down on the winner's time. Lars Heggen of Norway, 51.12.
And congratulations also to Leopold Strand, twice again on the podium that mentions today in this man competition. Wow, but it's so good that Italian Gabriele Matley with that fantastic sprint was able to catch the silver medal.
17 is Romain Vaxlier of France. Harbo of Norway, bib number 13, comes across the line in 12th. And next, bib number 30 Marabatov,
Here Risanen, and then
Maratbekov,
the French,
sorry, of Kazakhstan. Jonas Müller of Germany in 14th. And it looks to me as if 15th place is going to go to another one of the Swiss athletes, Isai Neif of Switzerland, I think it was, with David Fuchs of Austria in 16th. Jonathan Lindberg, big number 5, comes across the line in 17th place. USA's Lucas Wilmot just behind Canada's Zachary Moreau in 18th and 19th. Anton Kempi making up the top 20 places. 3:04 down for Kempi of Finland, coming across the line behind Lars Heggen of Norway.
Yeah. Fuck.
We can see again replay that gave us the happiness and the passion of new world champion Lars
Just point!
Atleti fantastici perché Federico Pozzo ha chiuso al nono posto proprio la situazione finale. Lars Heggen è campione del mondo, nelle Martini è secondo, Demon Strand è terzo, Jacob Mo è quarto, Filip Scari è quinto, Davide Negroni è sesto, Marco Pinzani è settimo, Ottavo Rauto, Kibil, nono Federico Pozzo, decimo è Ivi Rissanen. Ed eccolo qua il podio, gli applausi del pubblico per Lars Heggen, Gabriele Matli, Leopoldo Strand.
Here we go. Big round of applause for our podium. Lars Heggen, silver medal, Gabriele Matti, bronze medal, Leopold Stranda. Norway and Italy on our podium. We will see them in the award ceremony very soon. We invite you, everybody, of course, to our podium after what we will do, of course, our finish line. And it will be time to celebrate for the top 6 athletes of the junior category, both the female and the men.
I'm eating 25.
I feel amazing. This has been my goal for so long, so I'm extremely happy.
stato stupendo.
Vai fish?
Buono.
Hai.
Ok, ce l'abbiamo. Dati via.
Oddio!
Allora, vediamo se siamo al centro. Sì. Yes, just a short communication. We would like to have our medal ceremony area quick, so I ask all the people that are not obliged to stay here this morning, if you can just go outside the fences, please. We just would like to have this space free for the medal ceremony. Quindi gentilmente le persone che sono all'interno della zona cerimonia adesso, se possiamo lasciarla libera, adesso dobbiamo preparare la cerimonia. So just a notification, all of you who are people that are inside, that are working, please, the work ceremony, if you can go outside and just leave here only the athletes that have to do a work. So all the
Well, here's a quick look back at how the race unfolded today. 81 athletes out at the gun and 30 nations represented, but pretty early on it looked as if the Swedes were going to have a good day today. Their competition faded though throughout the race as the Norwegians and the Italians came to the front. Four Italians fighting hard to be on the medal podium. Here they are leading the way in the first half of the race, but slowly the four Norwegians came to the fore. Bib number 1, Lars Hagen of Norway, and Monday's winner, Philip Skari of Norway in bib number 9, looking as if they were going to run away with it, but surprisingly the gap closed up. And the Italians and one or two of the Germans managed to close the gap, but come the end of the race, it was Lars Hagen of Norway, Monday's silver medalist and last year's sprint winner in Planica, who takes his first distance win at the Junior World Championships level. In second place was a wonderful result for Gabriel Matli of Italy, who crossed the line just ahead of Leopold Strand, who came from nowhere in the last 4 kilometers to manage to steal that third place. Monday's winner, Philip Skari of Norway, relegated to 5th place behind a impressive Jakob Mock of Germany.
Vai Gabri! Vai, grandissimo!
Grazie.
I tuoi fans! Bravo!
Grazie.
Lars, finally the gold on the distance race. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel amazing. This has been my goal for so long, so I'm extremely happy.
You had a special tactic today?
Yeah, my plan was to start going hard after like 3 laps and try to open up a gap in the long hill. And yeah, I just tried to follow my plan and my body felt good today, so I'm just extremely happy with the gold medal.
How did you like the track here in Schilpario?
Yeah, it's really nice. It's a perfect track for me with long hills and yeah, it's a good track.
Are you aiming also for the gold on the 10K?
Yeah, we'll see. I hope to get a medal, but of course I want the gold on the 10K too.
Nå kan du se noe på norsk.
Jeg er ekstremt fornøyd. Det var helt magisk. Jeg møtte fatteren i målområdet. Uff. Jeg ble så glad.
Tusen takk.
Vær så god.
Gabriele, silver medal here in your home country. How do you feel?
Yeah, today I feel good. I will thank all the team Italy, the ski men, my family, my parents that are here, and the Guardia di Finanza.
How did you like the track here in Schilpario? Are you used to compete here?
Yeah, I like the track and I feel good.
Are you going to compete on the 10K as well? Are you going to compete on the 10 kilometer also as well?
Yeah, I compete in the 10 kilometers.
Are you also aiming for a medal?
We will see and we hope to compete to a medal.
No, can you say something in Italian?
Voglio ringraziare tutti e viva l'Italia.
Viva Italia! Leopold, already a medal on your first Junior World Championships. How do you feel?
Yeah, it was just amazing and had a really good day today and amazing skis. So we'll just give it all and hope for a medal.
You are born in 2007, right? Are you the future of Norway?
Yeah, I suppose I am, actually. Yeah, I think so.
Are we gonna see you on the 10K?
No, I'm reserved, so maybe, but I don't think so.
Nå kan du si noe på norsk.
Hva?
Du kan si noe på norsk nå.
Tusen takk til alle som har sett på, det var veldig gøy.
Tusen takk.
la cerimonia di premiazione ufficiale dei campionati del mondo juniores di sci di fondo a Schilpario, Italia, 20 km ma start in tecnica classica, categoria femminile.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome everybody to the FIS Cross Country Junior World Ski Championships 2025 Bergamo, Schilpario, Italy. That's the award ceremony of the mass start competition, 20 kilometers in classic technique, category Junior Women.
Al sesto posto rappresenta la Norvegia.
In the sixth place, representing Norway, Ingeborg Sønsnes Holland.
Al quinto posto rappresenta l'Italia.
In the fifth place, representing Italy, Beatrice Laurent.
Al quarto posto rappresenta la Francia.
In fourth place, representing France, Annette Coupa.
Al terzo posto, vincitrice della medaglia di bronzo, rappresenta il Canada.
Third place, winner of the bronze medal, representing Canada, Alison Mackey.
Al secondo posto, vincitrice della medaglia d'argento, rappresenta la Norvegia.
In second place, winner of the silver medal, representing Norway, Hanna Engeseta Serbia.
Allora signore e signori, al primo posto, neocampionessa del mondo, vincitrice della medaglia d'oro, rappresenta la Norvegia.
First place, winner of the gold medal, new FIS Junior World Champion Cross Country 2025, representing Norway, Milla Grosberg Andreasen.
Le medaglie saranno consegnate da
The medals are presented by
Gregor Mali, tecnico delegato della FIS.
Mr. Gregor Mali, FIS Technical Delegate.
I premi verranno consegnati da
The gifts will be handed over by
Carlo Dal Pozzo, consigliere federale della FISI, e Daniele Agoni, consigliere del comune di Schilpario con delegato ad artigianato e comunicazione.